The Invitation. Introduction to Jack Hughes, a cultural anthropologist. In the bustling halls of the Intergalactic Cultural Exchange Center, Dr. Jack Hughes sat hunched over his desk, his eyes fixed on the holographic display before him. As a renowned cultural anthropologist, Jack had dedicated his life to understanding the intricate tapestry of cultures that spanned the galaxy. His office, cluttered with artifacts and data pads from countless civilizations, was a testament to his insatiable curiosity. Jack's reputation as a brilliant and open-minded researcher had earned him a unique position within the ICEC. He was often called upon to act as a liaison between Earth and the myriad alien societies that humanity had encountered since venturing into the stars. His keen insight and adaptability had proven invaluable in fostering understanding and cooperation between disparate cultures. Jack receives an invitation to attend a wedding on the planet Sapora. One particular morning, as Jack sifted through his daily correspondence, a message caught his eye. The holographic missive shimmered with an iridescent hue, its surface adorned with intricate patterns that seemed to dance and shift as he focused on them. Intrigued, Jack opened the message and began to read. "Esteemed Dr. Hughes," the message began, "it is with great pleasure that we extend to you an invitation to attend the grand wedding celebration of the Zaporian royal family. Your presence would be an honor and a testament to the growing friendship between our worlds." Jack leaned back in his chair, his mind already racing with the possibilities. Sapora, a world renowned for its vibrant culture and elaborate ceremonies, had long been on his list of must-visit destinations. The opportunity to witness a royal wedding firsthand was an anthropologist's dream come true. Preparations for the journey and Jack's expectations. Without hesitation, Jack accepted the invitation. He spent the following days immersed in research, poring over every scrap of information he could find on Zaporian culture and customs. He studied their language, their social hierarchies, and their traditions surrounding marriage and family. As he prepared for his journey, Jack couldn't help but feel a sense of excitement mixed with trepidation. He knew that he would be stepping into a world vastly different from his own, a world where his understanding of social norms and expectations might be challenged. Yet, he embraced the opportunity to learn and grow, to expand his horizons and forge new connections. With his bags packed and his mind brimming with questions, Jack boarded the interstellar transport that would carry him to Zapora. As the ship slipped into the inky void of space, he couldn't help but wonder what adventures and revelations awaited him on this distant world. Little did he know that his role in the upcoming celebration would be far more significant than he could have ever imagined. Arrival on Zapora. Description of Zapora's vibrant landscape and culture. As the interstellar transport descended through Zapora's atmosphere, Jack found himself mesmerized by the planet's breathtaking beauty. Lush, verdant forests stretched out beneath him, their canopies shimmering with hues of emerald and turquoise. Winding rivers, their waters a startling shade of lavender, cut through the landscape like shimmering ribbons. The ship touched down on a landing pad in the heart of Zapora's capital city, a metropolis that seemed to have sprung from the pages of a fantasy novel. Towering spires of gleaming silver and gold reached toward the sky, their surfaces adorned with intricate carvings and pulsing with gentle light. The streets were alive with activity, filled with Zaporians of all shapes and sizes, their colorful garments and animated gestures creating a dazzling display of life and energy. Jack's first interactions with the Zaporians. As Jack disembarked from the transport, he was greeted by a delegation of Zaporian officials, their faces split by wide, welcoming smiles. They were a striking people, with lithe, elongated bodies and skin that shimmered with iridescent scales. Their eyes, large and expressive, seemed to sparkle with warmth and curiosity as they studied their human guest. "Dr. Hughes, welcome to Zapora," the lead official exclaimed, extending a long, slender hand in greeting. "We are honored by your presence and eagerly await the opportunity to share our culture with you." Jack returned the smile, his own hand dwarfed by the Zaporian's gentle grasp. "The honor is mine," he replied, his voice filled with genuine excitement. "I have long dreamed of visiting your beautiful world and witnessing your renowned ceremonies firsthand." The officials led Jack through the city streets, pointing out landmarks and sharing tidbits of history and culture along the way. Jack listened intently, his mind absorbing every detail, every nuance of this fascinating society. He marveled at the Zoporians' grace and poise, the way they seemed to move with a fluid elegance that was almost hypnotic. Introduction to the wedding pavilion and the atmosphere of celebration. As they approached the royal wedding pavilion, Jack's senses were overwhelmed by the sights, sounds, and scents that surrounded him. The pavilion itself was a marvel of architecture, its soaring arches and shimmering domes seeming to defy gravity. The air was filled with music, a hauntingly beautiful melody that seemed to weave itself into the very fabric of reality. Zoporians from all walks of life had gathered to celebrate the union of their royal family, their faces alight with joy and anticipation. Jack found himself swept up in the festive atmosphere, his own heart pounding with excitement as he was led to his place of honor among the guests. As he took his seat, Jack couldn't help but feel a sense of awe and wonder. He knew that he was about to witness something truly extraordinary, a celebration that would be etched into his memory for the rest of his life. Little did he know just how deeply he would become involved in this alien world and its customs. The wedding ceremony begins. Jack's role as the guest of honor is revealed. As the music swelled and the gathered Zoporians fell silent, a figure emerged from the depths of the pavilion. Tall and regal, with shimmering golden scales and eyes that seemed to hold the wisdom of the ages, the Zoporian high priest commanded the attention of all present. "Esteemed guests," the high priest began, his voice a melodious baritone that resonated through the air. "We have gathered here today to celebrate the union of our beloved royal family. But today we also celebrate the bonds of friendship and understanding that stretch across the stars." The high priest turned his gaze to Jack, a knowing smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Dr. Jack Hughes, our honored guest from Earth, we have a special role for you in today's ceremony. As a symbol of the growing alliance between our worlds, we ask that you join the royal family in their sacred vows." Jack's eyes widened in surprise, his heart racing as the implications of the high priest's words sank in. He had expected to be an observer, a witness to this incredible event, but to be asked to participate, to play a role in the very heart of the ceremony. It was an honor beyond his wildest dreams. Introduction to the brides. Lorraine, Fenna, and Tara. As Jack rose to his feet, still reeling from the unexpected turn of events, the high priest gestured to a group of figures who had emerged from the other side of the pavilion. 3 Zoporian women, each more stunning than the last, glided across the floor, their movements a symphony of grace and beauty. "Behold, the brides of the royal family," the high priest intoned. "Princess Lorraine, wise and compassionate, a leader among her people. Princess Finna, fierce and bold, a warrior of unmatched skill. And Princess Tara, gentle and nurturing, a healer of both body and soul." The brides approached Jack, their eyes shining with warmth and acceptance. They were a study in contrasts, each unique in her own way, yet bound together by the love and duty they shared for their people, ancient rituals, and the significance of the ceremony. As the brides took their places beside Jack, the high priest began to recite the ancient rites of the Zoporian people. His words, spoken in a language that seemed to dance and shimmer in the air, wove a tapestry of meaning and symbolism that left Jack breathless. He spoke of the joining of hearts and minds, of the unbreakable bonds of love and loyalty that would bind the royal family together for all eternity. He spoke of the responsibility of leadership, of the sacred duty to guide and protect the Zoporian people. As the ceremony unfolded, Jack found himself swept up in the moment, his heart swelling with emotion as he realized the true significance of what was happening. He was not just a guest, not just a witness to this incredible event. He was a part of it, a symbol of the bonds that stretched across the galaxy, connecting all beings in a web of understanding and cooperation. And yet, even as he reveled in the beauty and meaning of the ceremony, Jack couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more, something that he had yet to fully comprehend. Little did he know that his role in this story was about to take an even more unexpected turn. The unexpected turn. Jack realizes he is not just a guest, but also a groom. As the ancient rituals reached their crescendo, the high priest turned to Jack, his eyes glinting with a mixture of solemnity and mischief. "Dr. Hughes," he intoned, his voice ringing out across the pavilion, "you have been chosen not just as a guest of honor, but as a groom in this sacred union." Jack's jaw dropped, his mind reeling as he struggled to process the high priest's words. A groom. Him. He had come to Zipporah expecting to observe, to learn, to witness the beauty and complexity of an alien culture. But to become a part of it, to be woven into the very fabric of their society in such an intimate way, it was beyond anything he could have imagined. Confusion and panic set in as Jack grapples with the situation. As the realization sank in, Jack felt a wave of panic wash over him. His heart raced, his palms slick with sweat as he tried to make sense of the situation. He was a scientist, an anthropologist, trained to observe and understand the customs of other cultures. But this was something else entirely. He looked to the brides, their faces aglow with joy and anticipation, and felt a pang of guilt. They had accepted him, welcomed him into their world with open arms. And yet he couldn't shake the feeling that he was an intruder, an outsider stumbling into a world he didn't fully understand. The bride's attempt to reassure Jack and explain the concept of love in their culture. As if sensing his distress, Princess Lorraine stepped forward, her hand coming to rest gently on Jack's arm. "Dr. Hughes," she said softly, her voice a soothing balm to his frayed nerves, "we understand that this must come as a shock to you. But please, know that you are not alone in this." Princess Finna nodded, her eyes sparkling with warmth and understanding. "In our culture, love is not a bond between two individuals, but a force that connects us all. By joining with us in this union, you are not just becoming a part of our family, but a part of our world, our very way of life." Princess Tara smiled, her hand reaching out to clasp Jack's in a gesture of comfort and support. "We know that this is not the way of your people, but we ask that you open your heart and mind to the possibilities before you. You have been chosen, Dr. Hughes, not just by us, but by the very fabric of the universe itself." As the bride spoke, Jack felt his fear and confusion begin to melt away, replaced by a growing sense of wonder and awe. He had always believed that the key to understanding lay in the ability to embrace the unknown, to step outside of one's comfort zone and see the world through new eyes. And now, here he was, standing on the precipice of a journey that would take him beyond anything he had ever known. A journey that would challenge him, change him, and ultimately transform him in ways he could never have imagined. A moment of decision. Jack's internal struggle between fear and curiosity. As the weight of the situation settled upon him, Jack found himself torn between two conflicting emotions. On one hand, the rational, scientific part of his mind screamed out in protest, urging him to step back, to reconsider, to flee from this alien world and its strange customs. It was a voice of fear, of self-preservation, of the instinctive desire to cling to the familiar and the known. But there was another voice, a whisper that seemed to come from the very depths of his soul. It spoke of adventure, of discovery, of the chance to be a part of something greater than himself. It was the voice of curiosity, of the insatiable desire to learn, to grow, to embrace the unknown, and the infinite possibilities that lay beyond the horizon. The brides encouraged Jack to embrace the opportunity for a unique connection. As Jack struggled with his inner turmoil, the brides drew closer, their presence a comforting balm to his troubled mind. Princess Lorraine, her eyes shining with wisdom and compassion, spoke softly, her words a gentle reminder of the incredible opportunity that lay before him. "Dr. Hughes," she said, her voice a melodious whisper, "we know that this is not an easy decision, but we ask that you consider the possibilities, the chance to forge a bond that transcends the boundaries of culture and species, a bond that could change the course of history itself. Princess Finna, her gaze fierce and determined, nodded in agreement. "You have been chosen, Dr. Hughes, not just by us, but by the very fabric of the universe. To turn away now would be to deny the destiny that has been laid out before you." Princess Tara, her smile warm and inviting, reached out to take Jack's hand in her own. "We are not asking you to abandon your own culture, your own way of life. We are asking you to embrace ours, to become a part of something greater than yourself, to forge a connection that could span the stars and endure for all eternity." Jack's acceptance and the completion of the wedding vows. As he listened to the bride's words, Jack felt something shift within him, a subtle but profound change that seemed to ripple through the very fabric of his being. The fear and doubt that had gripped him began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of purpose, of destiny, of the knowledge that he was exactly where he was meant to be. With a deep breath, Jack squared his shoulders and looked out across the gathered crowd, his eyes shining with a newfound sense of determination and clarity. "I accept," he said, his voice ringing out across the pavilion, strong and sure. "I accept the honor and the responsibility of joining with the royal family in this sacred union." The brides' faces lit up with joy, their eyes sparkling with the knowledge that they had found a true partner, a kindred spirit who would stand beside them through all the trials and triumphs that lay ahead. As the high priest began to recite the final vows, his voice a sonorous chant that seemed to resonate through the very air itself, Jack felt a sense of peace and rightness settle over him. He knew that he was embarking on a journey that would challenge him in ways he had never been challenged before, but he also knew that he was ready, that he had been preparing for this moment his entire life. And as he spoke the words that would bind him to the brides, to the Zoporian people, to a destiny that stretched out across the stars, Jack knew that he had found his true calling, his true purpose in the vast and wondrous universe that lay before him. Part 6. A New Beginning. The celebration continues with joyous festivities. As the final words of the wedding vows faded into the air, the pavilion erupted in a cacophony of cheers and applause. The Zoporians, their faces alight with joy and celebration, surged forward to congratulate the newlyweds, their voices rising in a chorus of well wishes and blessings. Jack, his heart swelling with a mixture of excitement and awe, found himself swept up in a whirlwind of color and sound as the festivities began in earnest. Music filled the air, a hauntingly beautiful melody that seemed to weave itself into the very fabric of reality. Dancers, their bodies adorned with shimmering fabrics and glittering jewels, swirled and leaped across the floor, their movements a symphony of grace and beauty. Food and drink, exotic delicacies from every corner of Zopora, were laid out in a sumptuous feast, the aromas mingling together in a tantalizing symphony of scent and flavor. Jack, his senses overwhelmed by the sheer abundance of it all, found himself sampling dish after dish, each one more delicious than the last. And through it all, the brides remained by his side, their presence a constant reminder of the incredible journey that lay ahead. They laughed and danced and celebrated, their joy infectious, their love a palpable force that seemed to radiate out from them in waves. Jack reflects on the unexpected turn of events and the journey ahead. As the night wore on, and the festivities began to wind down, Jack found himself standing alone on a balcony overlooking the city, his mind awhirl with the events of the day. He had come to Zopora expecting to be an observer, a witness to the wonders of an alien culture. But fate, it seemed, had had other plans. He thought back to the moment when the high priest had revealed his true role in the ceremony, the shock and disbelief that had coursed through him. He thought of the brides, their wisdom and compassion, their unwavering belief in the path that had been laid out before them. And he thought of the future, the incredible journey that lay ahead. He knew that there would be challenges, obstacles to overcome and battles to be fought. But he also knew that he would not face them alone, that he had the love and support of his new family, his new people, to guide him through whatever lay ahead. The story concludes with a sense of anticipation for the future and the bonds formed. As the first rays of dawn began to peek over the horizon, painting the sky in a breathtaking array of pinks and golds, Jack felt a sense of peace and contentment settle over him. He had found his place in the universe, his true calling, and he knew that he would never be the same again. He turned to face the brides, his partners, his soulmates, and saw the same sense of wonder and anticipation reflected in their eyes. They had forged a bond that would last a lifetime, a connection that would span the stars and endure for all eternity. And as they stood there, hand in hand, gazing out over the waking city, Jack knew that this was only the beginning of a new chapter, a new adventure, a new life filled with love and laughter and the endless possibilities of the universe itself. He smiled, his heart full to bursting, and stepped forward into the dawn, ready to embrace whatever the future might bring. For he knew that, with his newfound family by his side, there was nothing he could not face, no challenge he could not overcome, no dream that was beyond his reach. And so, as the sun rose over Zipporah, casting its golden light across the land, Jack and his bride set out on their journey together, their hearts filled with hope and their eyes fixed on the horizon, ready to face whatever lay ahead with courage, with compassion, and with an unbreakable bond of love that would guide them through all the days of their lives. Less than / and artifact greater than. I hope this story meets your expectations. Let me know if you would like me to modify or expand on any part of it.